you are running the show.
Yes.
Okay. Volume okay?
Yes.
Because I can. Good evening and welcome to Anime Analyst US. How are y'all doing on this fine Veterans Day? We want to give a quick salute, to all the veterans out there. We want hoorah! We want to thank you for all your service, and we hope you rest on this wonderful Veterans Day here in the United States. But remember, half of our unit is 9,000 miles away, so they're not having Veterans Day. So half of us are all on holiday and the other half are not. So we're just glad you're here. So we decided we're going to do a military anime today. So we had to go all the way back to 2007 to find Pumpkin Scissors. It's a 24 episode. It was done in premiered fall of 2006. It's a gonzo, so it's pretty good. And surprisingly, it was developed from a manga, and they actually have a plot to this. I'm impressed. Out of a manga. And it's an action comedy drama, and the theme is military, and it's shonen, of course. Rated R for the violence and profanity. No suggestivity, but there is some weird stuff going on. Okay. Statistics. It's got a 715 score, which is actually pretty good. But this one is poorly ranked at 3588 and 3467 on the popularity scale. But there's only 44,000 members and only 17,000 even voted. So, of course, I voted, and my number is a little bit lower than that. But it's a military one. This is Veterans Day, and we got to give the credit to where credit is due. So we want to welcome all our Twitter listeners tonight. And this is not our usual starting way, but because it's Veterans Day, I have to give the shout out to fellow Marines, Army, Air Force, Coast Guard. We love y'all. The reserves. Thank you guys for keeping us safe and policing the world and keeping the waterways safe, because I want a big boat and I want to go around the world one day. So I want to keep those waterways safe. So by the way, let me jump back here. I'm your host, Thomas Fry.
And I'm your co-host, Hasnan Zedi.
That's what I meant by oops, I did it wrong order. I keep getting the order messed up on it. We'll figure it out one of these days. I promise we will. Just, look in the picture and look at my desk. I'm not the most organized person. All right, so let's talk about this anime. It's a 24 episode. It was made from a manga, so that's pretty good. They had to fill in a lot of stuff to do an anime from bubble page readouts. And I think they did pretty good with the plot. It's not really one story, so to speak. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's like 3-4 episodes is one section of it, 3-4 episodes is another section, and so forth and so on. That's not a bad way to do it, but they were doing it from a manga, so, what do you think?
Okay, so the plot line is right. Like they are I think 3-4 stories are running at a time. Like there is a story about the Randel, what was his what is the unit, and then there is Alice, who is fighting her own wars, who don't want to who want to end the difference between the common and the royal. And then there is Orlando, who is living in his own world. I really like this guy, how he something how he do, you remember when he saw a girl on the bridge and he thought she's going to jump, and then he found out where she's working and go to her, and then he's trying to cheer her up, but she's not showing anything, and then he found out and the thing I like how they portrayed the things that you can find in real life, how after a war, how army operates, how the corruption is. I really feel bad about the guys like who have to fight on the ground with the guys who are sitting in the office and
Oh,
like
well, you know what? That don't matter. We have a Pentagon here in our country that is like 90,000 people telling all of our military what they're. So it's a bunch of people sitting behind a desk ordering people to go to their death, and no, but I don't know about you, but I got this anime reminded me. It was like whoever wrote this story. I think he put it around World War II, and it was kind of like them fighting the Germans, but they were trying to make the good guys, even though it's a meritocracy, and they have a king and nobles and all that. It's scary just how similar it is to our modern system. They don't call him king, but he's president, and he's got the last word, and he's usually the least military guy out of them all. Is the guy with the finger on the button of our nukes. So, yeah, modern militaries don't make a lot of sense, because I have seen, and you see it in other movies where the general, the Secretary of Defense comes in. I was watching one last night, and he's ripping up this 4-star general, and I'm like, dude, this dude has been fighting wars for 40 years, and you got voted in last year, and you're gonna come in and tell him how to run his war? I mean, come on, man. Let the general decide. And then I think in the defense of reality, we need to do another anime that is kind of similar to this. I was gonna do that one first, but this is more military. The other one is kind of a guy not wanting to be a king, so he's cracking on it. But so this one we had to go with because it's Veterans Day. We had to show something that's military, and even though it's somewhat comical, that's kind of how it works. I mean, not everybody's a gung-ho Marine. There's more paper pushers in the military than there is fighting men. So and like you have to be an officer to be able to fly a plane, and they usually get 10,000 applicants to get one pilot. I mean, that stuff is so hard to do.
I think there was a video I watched some times ago where I think this was US military and they were assigning the planes that this is the plane that you are going to fly. And like they don't know like what they're, but then they were taking the names and you got this plane and you got this plane and like.
Well, yeah, because you go down, you put your name on the side of the plane. I mean, that's every plane in our military has the pilot and co-pilot or navigator, if there's one in the plane, is written on, especially warplanes, F-18s, 16s, the new F-35s, they're just F-22s now. When I saw them, they were YF-22 because they were experimental, but, and you want to know the funny part about this? I just found this out. The experimental plane that lost, they're still building it. They just sold it to a different country. Now, it barely, they had a tough time deciding which one we're going to go with, and then they take the one they didn't go with, and then that company sells it to someone else, so now we're competing. I mean, they're supposed to be an ally, but what happens if they turn and become an enemy? They got the second best plane in the world, and then of course we build everything in China, so China built their entire fleet off our technology when we said, oh, here, build this, but don't look at what it is. Yeah, I think it took them 2 years and they had our stealth paint. Well, that didn't work. But
Yeah, and there is this one more thing like which they really portray where like the super soldiers like the every country trying to achieve.
you're
Like
talking
the
about
military.
Randel. Yeah.
Yeah, and
He's
like
a big dumb oaf, but you gotta like him. I mean,
yeah,
he
I
got shot more
remember
times.
And there was a funny scene where they get shot by the tank, and Orlando said like everybody's running with the tank and we are on the foot like and every time they face a tank and he's standing just face to face with the tank like
And
he's
he wins. And
yeah,
one shot, I mean, the bullet looks like a 30 millimeter round. I mean, it looks like something that should not be able to be fired out of a hand pistol. I mean, that freaking bullet's like that. You know, he has to put one at a time with the barrel that's that big around to hold it from the explosion. I'm like, holy crap, that's a 30 millimeter round. I mean, they normally use a barrel that's 5 foot long in a gun mounted to the ship with 3 operators on it on something he's using in a pistol. I love that pistol he's got. He flips that little lantern on and he goes into the zombie. I'm killed, totin' what is
yeah,
it, totin' or whatever they're saying.
the military aspect of the anime I like it. Like if you see like the character Hans, like there was like he has no idea what happened to him. Like he wears the suit, like he was ordered by the
Oh
military to
yeah, the fire dude.
fire
I
suit.
felt bad for him. I really did, because when his suit came off or broke, he died. I mean,
Yes.
once you put that suit on, because of the fluid that was in there, which I have a question about that. If they put you in a suit and fill it up with water, but there's no oxygen tank and there's no tube going in your mouth, do you just stop breathing and it fills up your lungs? And then when you come out, I mean, because when those guys got out of the suit, they all died.
Yeah, but I think I okay. So the doctor, the one that was experimenting,
Which
she tells
doctor? There
Rand
was like 4 of them that was experimenting. The girl or the guy?
the girl, the clan.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, and she tells the Randall like we just lied to them, like the fluid is not going to help or anything because they are losing the skin with the heat of the flamethrower. Yeah.
Today, as we speak, well, actually, since Vietnam War, we have used super soldiers. Now, originally, they were with the CIA and they were remote viewing. Okay, so there were basically, some people call it witchcraft, other people call it whatever, but it's remote viewing. And it worked. I mean, case after case, they proved it worked. And then, and today, now we are like a year away from having an Iron Man suit. I mean, they already have one that's a full backpack that increases your leg power by 50%, increases your arm power by 30%. Um, and now I don't think it's worked that well, but they were working on the walking dog that would carry all your ammo, and the mechanical dog, which I was rooting for that so much. But I would love to have one of them suits, because with my leg missing, I mean, I'm already starting to become bionic. So, give me something. I mean, I could move around normal with that thing. But the one thing I'm really looking forward to, and it's getting better and better every day, is they're making substitutions on the human body, where you could replace some, like a full-fledged paraplegic can walk again. They now have a thing that goes in your head, and it takes the electric signals, and through wires it runs down to the muscles in your body, and it can reactivate it when your spine is damaged. And they've given people sight back, they've given people voice back, hand movements, and the bionic hand that you can get now. And believe me, I know, because I got a bionic leg. Well, it's not bionic. There's nothing. It's a mechanical leg, I guess you could say. But the hand now, they've got one where you got a mechanical hand. You can pick up a bottle of Coke and drink it. I mean, it's pretty amazing the stuff that they're doing. But it's all from these crazy super soldier type deals, and sorry, I was looking at the Skype instead of looking at the camera, so I apologize. I hate it when I do that. I forgot to move him over and put him. I got to get you up here so I look at the camera. Sorry, folks. I wasn't trying to talk to you sideways tonight. Whoops. But
Yeah, yesterday I saw a video where a girl, she didn't have a hand, and they gave her a robotic hand. She was able to pick up the plates. She was able to pick up the water bottle, and but humans, they need to find the ways to get like to kill quickly, and they are using this in the military is also looking after these things so they can.
now, I got a question, and I know I'm probably going to make people mad, but if someone dies and you donate your body to science, you can pretty much replace every limb except for your head right now. So people like me that lose their leg, I could get another leg, but the problem is they can't experiment because you have to experiment on humans to fix it. You're not allowed to do that. And then would people be too grossed out by taking a dead guy's leg and reattaching it to a person that's lived? I mean, they do it with hearts and lungs and livers and kidneys and all that stuff internally, but nothing external. You're not allowed to have anything external, which if that's the case, then give me a bionic foot that works a little better, because the ankle movement on my leg is horrid. It only flexes one way, and I was an active person. I mean, even doing nothing, I work 12 hours a day, and so I'm a little frustrated with the situation. And there's veterans out there all over this country that know exactly what I am talking about, that go out and have missing legs and missing arms and come back with all kinds of damage, and they don't get treated that well in this country. But it's not just the U.S. that does that. I mean, everyone around the world. So if you're not going to take care of the people that get injured and fighting for you, then quit fighting. Find another way to solve the problems, I mean, we just elected President Trump, so that's created quite a stir since he got elected, and I think it's funny. What do you do when you don't like the government? You vote in someone that everyone in the government hates. It'll shake stuff up enough to straighten everything out. At least that's what I'm hoping. I don't want to get into political talk because we are not a political show, but that's major, and I just had to say it once. That way I got it out of my system. Now, it is Veterans Day, and he is Commander-in-Chief, so we do have to throw our props to him. I don't even think our current president's alive when he's standing in front of a microphone. It seems like he's a puppet anymore. But anyway, all right, so back to the anime, which actually we are like coming up on our time. So let's put it this way. Give your final thoughts on what you think of Pumpkin Scissors. And wow, we got off topic again tonight.
Okay. So I like the season, but I have just a one complaint. Like if you see like the last 5 episodes, they are just happening on the banquet, like they were having. Like it
Yeah,
was
they
really
did stretch
long.
that out a little long.
Yeah, like for that's it. But other than that, I like how they have the things portrayed, how they show the side of the like the effect. Like I don't think like they have movies that show what happened after the war. Like everybody is into like
Well, that is
going.
after the war. That
That's
was
what I'm
3
saying. Like
years after the war.
yeah,
Um,
and you see like on the first episode, like when they just received a letter, like they find a truce. Like they start war. The people are dying, they're fighting, and once they receive a letter, okay, no more fighting. So
it's dude, I'm telling you, it takes 20 years to clean up your own country if you're the winner after a war. The loser, they may not even recover. But, I mean, look at Japan. It took Japan almost 40 years to recover from World War II. I mean, we put a beat down on them that, but I'm glad they're an ally now. Right. You know, we get along with Japan very well. We back them. We do cross-training and everything with them. We have active communications with Japan when they're flying, and I do believe, I'll probably get yelled at if I'm wrong, but I do believe in an emergency situation, because of the planes Japan's use, they can land on our carriers and be re-outfitted and get them. Any ally is like that, especially with the F-35. But I know some of the old carriers can't land that plane. That plane does take some, it's not just, you know, like all our F-18s and 14s and all that stuff that just can land on any carrier and take off. They cannot. And I'm not sure the reason, but it's something about with the way the construction is. I don't know if it's they can't land or can't take off, but there's one direction they can't go unless they have something special. So, of course, that gives, you know, our government the reason to go out and buy, you know, we have, 24 aircraft carriers out there, and they just parked one of the biggest ones in the world. So now they're, and the Enterprise is now mothballed, so they really need to get another Enterprise out there. We should always have a ship named Enterprise in the water. So I'm hoping they rename one of the new ones Enterprise. Because otherwise, how are we going to develop into Star Trek or into Battlestar Galactica if we don't have an Enterprise out there? You got to have that named ship out there. I mean, my gosh. It's supposed to start in, 2074. We're supposed to make contact with the Vulcans and, you know, start working on our ships and warp drive and all that stuff. And we got to have an Enterprise. All right. Welcome to all you new Twitter listeners that are listening in to the show. We hope you enjoyed it. And we'll try to stay on topic more often, but we also want to have some fun with what we're doing. And we hope you enjoyed the show. It's time to go eat dinner. We'll be back here Wednesday, and we don't know, but we will announce tomorrow which anime we're going to talk about. We got 2 to pick from. We'll get that sorted out for you, and hopefully hopefully Twitter got the right title. I apologize for any of the past shows. They all have episode 53 on there. And I'm new to broadcasting to Twitter, so I don't know how to fix it. So I'm working on that. We just put up a couple of new vids today. We put up, I'm going to become a #1 villainist in the world. And we also put up, what was the other one?
Wistoria, Wand and Sword.
Yeah, Wistoria, Wand and Sword. We put up that vid. And I put it up 2 ways. I put it up where you can click and go to our YouTube channel, or the one directly after that is the actual video we posted on Twitter for Twitter people that don't want to come over to YouTube. So any vid I make that is short enough to just directly we'll put the link and the video. So that way, whatever your preference is, you can check it out how you want it. So hopefully, if you got some time, check out Pumpkin Scissors. It's pretty good anime. We give it a 7. Heck, anything above a 650 is worth watching. Usually they're pretty good. And this one did not have a big following, but it makes sense. Good direction, good illustration. Even though it's a series of short stories, it does follow a general plot line. And they stick to it pretty well, so I think they did a really good job. So, do you got any final?
I think we covered it, and we are way above the time.
Oh, so yeah, I'm not. As long as we're under 30, we can go 15 to 30 on our short shows, and Wednesday is always a 30-minute show. So, and I wanted to get in all the extras while we were doing it. So anyway, you guys have a good night. Hope you had a good Veterans Day. Enjoy your day off. I know tomorrow is your new Monday for this week. So you got a short week. It's only 4 days. So enjoy your week, and we will see you on Wednesday.